Welcome to TMZ Live. There is more evidence in the Nolan Wells death mystery.
Yeah.
And it has to do with a boat with his friends that left the island the day that Nolan disappeared, and there was an emergency.
Right. This is the boat that his friends were on, and we told you last week his friend Warren came out, did this interview where he said, we tried to get Nolan on the boat as we were leaving at 4:30, and he said, nope, I'm staying behind, I'll go back with someone else. So that boat leaves Horn Island. Very shortly after they leave, they realize they are taking on water. And so they make a call to a tow company where they have a membership to tow their boat back to the mainland. While the driver of the boat is on the phone, you're hearing a bunch of commotion in the background. And some people feel that in the background, you hear people talking about Nolan, hear people talking about someone possibly being dead. There's a reference, they think, to chest compressions. Now, just so you understand how muddled this audio is, I'm going to play for you the relevant sections of the audio right now. See if you can hear anything, and then we're going to play an enhanced version right after that.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn. Shut the up! No, we do not need that.
So it's very garbled. It's hard to hear anything. Now, when you enhance it,
some people think
there are people on social media, particularly, who have said that there are references to Nolan.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn. Shut the up! No, we do not need that.
So if you believe that version, it would seem that Nolan would be on the boat.
To be clear, now when you see those words on the screen, obviously there's kind of a bias in your brain where you go like, oh, I can hear it. But without those words...
It's actually called confirmation
bias. When you remove those, you don't have the captions, it's really hard to hear anything. That being said, I get why the internet would be like, oh, there's something there. It just doesn't add up. For the main reason being, if they had done something, why would you be yelling about it while he's on the phone to a tow company?
Well,
and then bigger than that.
Well, there would be an answer to that, which is just the commotion and the panic and the horror that you're not necessarily thinking of covering up. So there's an answer to that, but the reality is that it didn't happen.
Yeah, and so we did some digging on this, and I spoke to some people connected with the passengers on the boat who all have been talking about this audio. They are very aware about what people believe they're hearing. However, it was explained to me that all you're hearing in the background is just the panic of this boat sinking. Remember, they had left the island because the boat was really taking on water. They said so many people were coming onto the boat that at this point they had to flee the island because this boat was about to sink. And so you're hearing that. They didn't get specific about each phrase that you could hear in the background. They didn't, clarify or translate what was being said, but that Nolan was not on this boat at all. And in fact...
Which is what Warren told us last week.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, in that interview where he said...
and I also spoke to some people familiar with direct knowledge who say that, in fact, investigators do have evidence, unclear if that's photos, videos, but they have some kind of evidence and have even spoken to at least 2 sources that can place Nolan on the island after the boat left.
And we should say, just to even be more specific, Charlie, to show the credibility of this, that these are law enforcement connected sources.
Yes.
Yes. And
so it's not a friend that's covering up. This is somebody.
And so if he's there after 4:30, if they have video or photo evidence, plus they have witnesses saying it, it's pretty strong to point to him being on the island and not on that boat. So I honestly think what you're hearing there is they're talking about the pump on the boat. They're saying, is it dead? Is the pump dead?
Yeah.
Right,
And
right. But again,
so-
it's natural confirmation
Yes.
bias. But look, I mean, the one thing that I think is going to be really important here is the official autopsy.
Yep.
And we have not heard about that yet, but I think it's going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us about what was in his bloodstream. It's going to tell us were there any injuries to his neck, because remember, the neck was not
not
part of the
present for
private
the-
autopsy.
Right. The throat.
And again, it may or may not reveal anything, but I think that the original autopsy, where the body was the most preserved it could be very important here.
Hello, my name is Asmao and I live in LA. When I listen to this phone call, I hear Nolan's name. I hear people who are panicked. I hear people who are trying to get their story straight. And I don't hear people who are in distress because a boat is sinking. I feel like just like all the other pieces of evidence that are coming out in this case, this phone call also points to foul play. I don't believe his friend Warren's story. It sounds like BS to me. In my opinion, Nolan was on that boat and he was in need of emergency assistance. Now, maybe they didn't do anything to him intentionally, but I do believe he was hurt. And my whole thing is, if you can call for emergency assistance for a tow, if you have a friend that's on the boat that's injured and it's not your fault, you could have very easily said, hey, we also need EMT, we need emergency assistance, one of our friends isn't feeling well. You wouldn't rush to a cover up like these kids have.
I hear,
so I'm not
I hear what
buying
you're
it.
saying. If the police do have and present eventually evidence of Nolan being on the island after 4:30, would that change your mind?
Yes and no. I don't quite trust the police in this case. I don't quite trust the investigation that's being done in Mississippi. It doesn't feel like they're being transparent. Doesn't feel like they're being truthful. I feel like the internet sleuths are doing a better job and Nancy Grace are doing a better job in getting down to the truth. I feel like
I will say this. We heard that same criticism when Brian Kohberger was being investigated, and everybody thought that the police were asleep at the wheel.
And the same thing, they said they weren't being transparent.
That's right.
And they weren't, but
For a reason.
police would say to you that the reason they are not is they're investigating something. They can't tell you, they can't play all their cards publicly while they're investigating.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, the aftermath of that fight that Diddy got into in prison last week, it means that his life in prison has changed quite a bit, because we've seen, since he's been in last October, since he's been at Fort Dix, we've seen photos and videos of him sort of interacting with other inmates and seeming like he's getting along well there.
He was interacting again a week or so
When
ago.
he got into that fight.
Not in a good way.
So now he is in what they call the SHU, or the Special Housing Unit. It's also called the Hole.
It is
and it's also
solitary
called
confinement.
solitary confinement. And the conditions are not pleasant at all. He gets very few items, and he also sees people twice a week at most, and maybe only once a week. And one of those people is a doctor. So this is not a great social situation for him.
He is truly isolated, but I think bigger than solitary confinement is post-prison. Number one, I don't think he's going to get any time off for good time. This is going to do it for him. He's going to, I think, serve the full sentence. The bigger thing is that he has been on this contrition tour even during the trial, where he said he was taking anger management classes, where he said that he had reflected.
Yes.
And I think this goes to what his life is going to be like afterward. And is he a changed man? And look, there may be reasons you get into fights in prison, but that's not what the general public knows. They just think, oh, he was a bad boy again.
No, but when you go to prison at the same time and you are a high-profile person, the public also knows that people in prison attack them. They come for them for that reason, to get clout, to get hard, to be known in the prison as like that person that beat up Diddy.
But
like
isn't that part of
street cred in the
isn't that
jail.
part of good behaviors, that you de-escalate things instead of escalating? And yeah,
right,
that
but
might
if
mean
someone's
that you
physically coming to you, you have to defend
hey,
yourself.
Yes, if someone physically attacks him,
You
then you
have
got
to
to defend
defend
yourself.
yourself.
Okay, and then the issue is, can you then convince the warden that it was self-defense and that I really didn't do anything other than protect myself? But apparently that didn't happen here. All I'm
Right,
saying,
because he's in the hole now.
right,
so.
and they could have said it was self-defense, and therefore we're not going to put you in solitary, but they didn't feel that way. So
And
all
it's
I'm
probably based on not just on video. I'm sure the ward went
Right.
back and looked at video. What happened?
That's right. So my only point is that, you know, how many passes do you give him if you really had, I mean, everybody had problems with the video of him and Cassie, but beyond that, there was testimony, and he was found not guilty on the serious stuff, but people still heard it, and he talked about changing. And I think this hurts him.
You feel like one,
I think it hurts
you
him.
feel one prison fight takes away all of the other things that he said, even if he is in anger management, even if he is
Because the
rehabilitating
prison fight
himself,
is
the
something
one
that
fight.
actually happened,
Right,
as
but-
opposed to the other things,
you
were
don't
things
think it's-
he was talking
That's
about.
right.
doing.
Right, but you don't
That's
think
right.
it's something if it's like a reoccurring thing in prison.
Well, how
But
many
just
fights
one,
does he have to get into?
More than one.
So like prunes?
More than one. Yeah, more than one.
Wait, prunes? Like is 4 too many? Is 2 not enough?
Yeah, basically.
Hey y'all, this is Alexis. I'm here in Houston, Texas. Honestly, it seems like Diddy can't seem to abide by the law outside of prison or inside. So I think solitary confinement is an absolutely fair punishment. He's being given basic human necessities. I don't even think he deserves a mattress or a pillow or a roof over his head, but that's just my opinion.
You made my point. You made my point that people are not going to be forgiving.
Coming up.
Well, day 5 in the preliminary hearing for David in the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And today, they got into some text messages, and actually, they've talked about what is probably the critical text message for the prosecution between Celeste and David the night before her death.
Be right back.
Well, day 5 in the preliminary hearing for David in the murder of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And today, they got into some text messages, and actually, they talked about what is probably the critical text message for the prosecution between Celeste and David the night before her death. And the text message was, the exchange is about jealousy, basically, that Celeste questioned David about a female friend of his that apparently had posted something that made it clear she was at David's house. And the exchange went basically something like, was she there? Was she in my seat? Was she in my seat? If she was, I am going to strangle you, and I will tell my dad, and I will
Ruin you.
expose, I will ruin your
you.
career, I'll ruin everything, I will expose you.
So
That's on the evening of April 22nd.
the day before she is never to be seen again. So the prosecution's theory is that David was having sex with a 13-year-old girl, and she is now threatening to expose that, and it probably would have ruined his career. He would have lost millions of dollars, and therefore he set her up by having an Uber take her to his house the
very
next
next
day,
day.
where he was lying in wait, and when she walked in, he killed her. That's the prosecution's case in a
Right.
nutshell.
Yeah, and look, I mean, in the text, she certainly is threatening not just his career, but saying, I will strangle you, and the weird part was, and tell my dad, but then you remember she's 14.
Well, now, there's something interesting that happened here, and, you know, we've been kind of wondering, what exactly is the defense going to argue in this case? Well, some things came out today. Number one, what you just said, which is, I will kill you. If that's her state of mind going to the house, and that she walks in, could David say, yes, but this was self-defense? And I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm
Right.
saying they
Is
need
this
to.
something they're going to say? Because we've been saying, all week we heard all of this evidence the prosecutors presented during the preliminary hearing, and we were wondering, like, what kind of defense could he possibly mount for this? Because
And all they need is reasonable doubt.
All
by
they
the
need
way.
is reasonable doubt. And these text messages are pretty graphic. She's saying, I want you, I'm going to kill you. And there's some detail there as well. And he could say, like, he acted in self-defense, and then he'd have to explain away through witnesses or whatever the panic and the chopping up of the dismemberment of the body.
Well, there's an answer to that, right?
Yeah.
That
panic.
somebody dies.
Yeah.
Somebody dies because you actually did it, and you're saying it's self-defense, but you're sitting there with a 13-year-old who is now dead.
Yeah.
Right.
And what would somebody do in a situation like that? Would they call the police? Well, they should. Would they necessarily?
Yeah.
or would they try to dispose of the body?
Right.
Right. Now, another option for a possible defense came when David's attorney, the defense attorneys, brought up the fact that there were text messages leading up to April 23rd where she mentions harming herself, that she might take her own life.
I actually, there's one, from what we've seen so far, I believe it's one text message where she says, this makes me want to kill myself, something to that effect.
Now, now remember, she is now seeing that another woman was at David's house,
Right.
that this woman had posted it. She was angry. She had talked about this kind of self-harm.
Yeah.
So the alternative to self-defense is she came in the house and she killed herself.
Right. And that one it's harder to explain the dismemberment after the fact if she killed herself, because presumably that would be more easily provable to investigators.
Right, that
than
he
if
would
he
just call
acted in
police and
self-defense.
say,
You would
right.
just act, but at the same time,
But
yeah.
the complication there is, again, that he's having sex with a 13-year-old who
Right.
dies in his home.
Right.
I
Even if you're saying
get
that
it.
even
I
if
get it.
she killed herself, he's thinking, I was having sex with this 13-year-old,
And
if I call the police.
We have just got to eliminate the body. And again, this is not what I'm believing. This is what I think the defense could argue.
Yeah.
And again, all
They've
they have
opened
to
the
do.
door to either of those.
Well, they have to choose one. They can't do
No,
both.
I said
right.
they've opened the door
towards
to
either
using one of them,
And
right.
which one? And obviously, if one of them is true, that's the one they're going to choose. And if he wants the defense that's not the truth, he's got to figure out which one.
Yeah, they got to
evidence fits
figure out
better.
which one, because you can't go with both.
You can't go with both.
So
Right.
you got to pick one.
Right.
I don't know which one, but I think that's where the defense here is heading.
Agreed.
Hi, my name is Jazz. I'm in Florida, and I've been following this case for a while, especially from the very first time that we heard about this young lady being in the Tesla. I think Harvey said it best. Listen, this is still a minor that David was around, that he was intimate with. And even though she sent those text messages, you still found a way to get her to your home. And somehow she passed away. We don't know how exactly it happened, but the girl was found dismembered in your Tesla that had nothing but, what is it? All those, I can't remember what it's called in the car that was hanging up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just inappropriate. It's disgusting. And it was still your car that you abandoned in a lot. And it still goes back to you. And you still decided to go about your life like nothing happened. So put him underneath the jail, make him dig his own hole, and call it a day.
Well, here's the thing. I have covered too many cases to prejudge based on a preliminary hearing. That I hear what you're saying, but this is the prosecution laying out its case without hearing anything from the defense. Remember, the defense has the advantage of only having to show reasonable doubt.
Once they get to the trial.
Once they get to trial.
This part, we're pretty clear on. He's going to be held to stand trial.
But don't assume it's a slam dunk.
Dorit Kemsley from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills says the fact that her now estranged husband, PK, keeps trying to point the finger at her as spending too much, as being the reason why he's not paying the mortgage on their fabulous home. She says there is plenty of evidence to point to the fact that PK is the one who is a spendthrift. And the numbers that she is putting out there
are so Beverly Hills.
It's very Beverly Hills, although some folks in Beverly Hills will be like, this doesn't seem impressive. But outside of Beverly Hills, everyone would go,
$75,000 for dinner?
Crazy. How much money spent on travel, on clothing.
Dinners.
What was the number, Lindsay, for travel? Is it $360,000?
Yes, and in total, we're talking $756,000 over just the span of a few months. Now, again, this
total for
just
all of
it's
it.
months. Well, that's
months.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine. Yeah.
But when you're saying that he's like Dorit saying, you're gonna leave me and my kids homeless out of our
But you say that because that sounds very
Yeah.
bad in court. It's very dramatic.
This is so typical of, I mean, if you look at Kim and Croy, and you look at, there are a lot of people in LA that have Rolls Royces and Mercedes Benz, and they are living hand to mouth.
Yes.
And it's image.
That's the secret that most people don't know about all the
And
glitz and glamour that you see.
And it happens everywhere. And if people do have money, there are a lot of people that will spend every
Now,
dime.
what was shocking to me is how much did he spend for clothing? Because I never think of
$55,000.
over how long?
Over just a general several months. But some of
Food.
that
I
being
just never
Hermes.
think
I
of-
didn't write down food.
Oh, I thought food was 75,000.
Yeah,
75,000.
That was 75,000.
That
Well, that
go out
includes
to a
tip.
restaurant
That
every
includes
night
tip. That includes
and
tip.
tip. That part I can understand, but I don't get a guy spending
Wait a minute.
$55,000.
You can understand $75,000 for a couple of months for food?
For food, if you go out every night in LA to fancy restaurants, like I'm sure they do, you know.
Okay. $1,000 a day, Charles. Wow. Baller.
Coming up.
I don't think she want to be on the stage.
My city is a crab in a bucket city. They were on the internet calling me out of my name.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Donnell Rawlings took TMZ DC on a city tour.
You know what the irony of this is? A black man takes a white person to the White House.
It's TMZ.
Well, Usher and Chris Brown's R&B tour is rolling on. They were in Nashville over the weekend, and there was a major glitch. A part of the show that everyone's accustomed to. Usher brings someone up on stage. He does some singing, he does some dancing and grinding, and the fan usually loves it.
Chris does it too, though.
Chris does that also. Well, watch how it played out with Usher.
I don't think she want to be on the stage.
He's pissed off.
Yeah, he's kind of like, wait, this is not how this is supposed to go.
No, he's like,
and he says,
this
take
is,
her off, take her off.
This is a Kinesis Macho thing. He is pissed off.
Well, and also it's part of the show. It's
No,
part of the way, and it's not going to work. And so he's like, all right, we got to move on.
I think he took that personally. It looks to me like he took that personally.
Probably. Well, the young woman who got called up on stage, her name is Gabrielle Cheyenne, and she is joining us right now to explain what was going on in her head and why the fans are giving her such a hard time. Gabrielle, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. So
why weren't you into it?
It wasn't that I was into it. I was approached first and upgraded to VIP, and they don't give you any instructions on who, what, when, where, or how. I didn't know anything.
They didn't tell you they were going to pull you on stage?
They told me that it was a possibility of me going on stage, but they didn't confirm that until it was closer to time for me to go on stage. And of course, you're getting to go up on stage. Why would I decline that? People are pulling the narrative that I'm in a relationship or whatever the case may be. No one can tell me the reasoning as to why I said yes to getting on stage. But you also don't know who you're going on stage for or with. I didn't know until it was time for his dancers to pull me up there.
You said, I didn't know who I was going to be pulled up on stage with. The way I see it, there are two people. There's Usher and there's Chris Brown.
Right.
And that means that you were banking on Chris Brown and you got Usher and you would have been more into it with Chris Brown. Am I reading this right?
I went to the concert for Chris Brown. It's nothing against Usher or anything like that, but I'm more of a Chris Brown fan than I am of Usher. So, of course, it would have been a different reaction with Chris Brown. It wouldn't have been the stiffness or whatever the internet is portraying or anything like that. And as far as the seats, with the VIP seats, we originally had, me and my mom, we were at the concert in P on the first row in 17 and 18. We got moved. It's right behind it, but it's higher. It's seats that's higher up. So if in any other videos, you can see him flying to that little platform that's in the middle, that's where VIP is, right there where that platform sits. So we were sitting high up, but we were just slightly back a little bit.
So you after what happened, some of the fans were getting on you, saying you had no business being on stage. I thought your response to them was interesting. You explained that their team approached you and moved you to VIP before the show even started, and then you said, "Pretty privileges, something you hoes will never know about."
Yeah.
Sing
And
it.
that
Sing
post,
it.
that post specifically was directed towards my city, which is why in that same post you see chat, which means Chattanooga,
Right.
which is directed towards my city because my city is a crab in a bucket city. They were on the internet calling me out of my name. They were
Gabrielle,
going.
you can't say that
They
about
were
your
going
hometown.
Bucket City?
ballistic.
Don't say that about Chattanooga. It's a beautiful place.
It's the truth. They were going ballistic on me, which is crazy because anything in Chattanooga, or if somebody does something that they don't get to experience, they just go ballistic if it's not how they would have
Yeah,
done.
except that you got to know that there were a lot of Usher fans there too, and probably in Chattanooga as well. And in a way, you did kind of diss.
You kind of dissed
you
Usher.
dissed
That's how it
Usher,
came across to
right?
the fans, I'm
Which
sure.
is fine, which is fine that they can feel away, but you also can't tell me about my experience.
Because they don't understand pretty privilege.
It's not about pretty privilege.
You said
It's
it was.
about they
You said it
can't.
was.
If you, of course, you're going to get noticed in a crowd if you're sitting in a crowd and somebody walks up to you. I didn't approach anyone to be moved to VIP. Someone approached me. I knew nothing about what was going on. I was even on my phone before the concert started with my head down at that time.
Oh, but they saw enough. They saw enough to say, we want you up front. So if they had said to you, we're going to move you to VIP, and we want you to be part of the show when Usher is up there, would you have said, no, thank you?
Yeah, I would have said no. I would have said no. I wasn't, it was never my intention to rile all these people up and ruin the moment or everything under the sun that they're saying, because that wasn't my intention.
But they didn't trick you. They told you going in that you might go on stage, but they didn't say with whom. And you knew it was Usher and Chris Brown. So you knew there was a 50-50 chance you'd end up with Usher.
Hey, whatever the case may be, I never got on TikTok or anything, which I stated this yesterday. I wasn't a person, if I pay for experience hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I don't want to get on TikTok and go and search up how the concert is going to go, what's going on at the concert and everything else. Because I'm paying for I'm paying for the experience. I want to feel like the people felt for the very first concert, like, hey, we don't know what's about to happen. We don't know what the set list is. We don't know who's performing in which spot, who's going first, who's going second, what order, or anything. Why would I want to go on social media and ruin my experience?
Well, but you certainly riled up those crabs in the bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, but you enjoyed the Chris Brown part of the show?
I did. I even enjoyed Usher. It's nothing against Usher. I mean, I've been listening to his music since I was a little girl. I know his music.
You just don't want him dancing on you.
I can prefer one artist over the other.
True. Okay.
All right.
Listen, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
Learn the term.
Yeah. We learned about Chattanooga.
Coming up.
We are finally hearing from Alan Richson himself about the fight that happened in his neighborhood in Tennessee. Seems much bigger than the guy he was fighting, and yet Alan said he was terrified that day.
Be right back.
We are finally hearing from Alan Richson himself about the fight that happened in his neighborhood in Tennessee. Remember, we showed you this video.
No, this is a Tennessee
I know,
show.
we're all about Tennessee. This was back in March when he was riding his motorcycle
with his sons.
And a neighbor stepped out and started yelling at them for the noise or for speeding.
And there were neighbors in the
And it turned
area
into
who
this brawl.
said Alan and his kids were speed demons in that area.
Now, Alan, the star of Reacher, is a big guy. In the video, seems much bigger.
He's huge.
Seems much bigger than the guy he was fighting. And yet, this is what he said on Armchair Expert with Dak Shepard. Actually, Alan said he was terrified that day.
I've never met that guy ever in my life. Never seen him before. He lied to TMZ about us. Like, I told him the day before, hey, buddy, you should really slow down. None of that was true. And he was heated. And so he's stepping in my grill and I push him back and he gets in front of my bike again. And you can't really tell on the body camera, but he shoves me, two-handed shoves me off the bike. I've got to protect me and I've got to protect my kids and I've got to get us off the street safely. Yeah. And that means getting him out of the picture. Yeah, right. Yeah, and so, you know, so I hit the guy. If anything makes you go like, may God is real, it's when you buy a chest pack a year before and you're a daily writer. And I step into the garage that day and it was like somebody talked to me. I don't even know where it is. And I dig through my cabinets and I find it tucked away on top of a shelf. And I'm like, trying to figure out how you even put it on.
It's a body cam, right?
So it's a body cam that holds your cell phone.
Yeah. Wow.
If I hadn't had that, dude, I'd probably still be in jail. It was the scariest thing I've ever been through, right? I don't like that kind of conflict.
Well, I don't think he was saying that the guy was necessarily that scary. He's saying the incident was scary.
The situation,
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm with him up until the point where he says scary. He is right. The other guy was the aggressor. He was cleared by cops.
Yeah.
But come on, man. We saw this video when he's punking this neighbor. He was scared.
Because he beat the guy up so easily.
Like, look at this video. Come on, Alan. Let's be real.
But the guy did shove him first, so.
The only thing that I wonder about is that we did talk to other neighbors in the area who said that they
had seen him speeding.
Yeah,
but
no,
Alan's
they were
this guy
for sure
never
a
said
nuisance in the neighborhood. At least that's all the people we spoke to.
It's like, you know, they have motorcycles. They're in the neighborhood. You just feel that there's a backdrop to that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason, by the way, that someone was recording when they saw Alan and his kids riding through.
Right.
Hi, my name is Kimmy, and I'm tuning in from Tupelo, Mississippi.
Oh,
now what's
hey,
the
No, I have to stop you. Do you know?
Are we derail?
Okay,
come on.
Well, no, you talk first.
All right, you go first, then he'll.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go. You go.
Because his point is not about the story, but go ahead.
Okay. What stood out to me most about this story is that Alan did not portray himself to be a hero. I think he did what any parent would have done, and the fight or flight mode kicked in, and he did what he had to do to protect his children. Now, thank God he had on that body camera, because if it wasn't for that body camera, we may be having a different conversation. Now, I always say there's three sides to a story. Their side, your side, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, there you
Thank
go.
God for the body camera, because it was the truth that lied in the middle.
Mm-hmm. That it was. All right, go ahead, Harv. You had to tell him you're from Tupelo. Listen, I just want, for anybody else who's ever calling in and saying, and you're from Tupelo, we'd love to hear from you, but just use a different city. But anyway, go ahead, yes.
Now you ruined it.
No, please, go ahead.
So you know Becky? Do you know Becky Johnson and her husband bought a store in Tupelo? Did you know that?
I did not. I'm not originally from Tupelo. I moved here
So
about
she doesn't even know what you're
15 years
referring
ago.
to. He's referring. These are lyrics to a song, a very old song.
One of the great songs ever, called "Ode to Billy Joe" by Bobby Gentry. And
You're telling your age.
You got to listen to it. Her brother married Becky Thompson, and they moved to Tupelo.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, no.
Never heard of
not with it.
Elvis Presley, yes, but not that.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be easy, like an Elvis Presley thing, but no. Ode to Billy Joe.
So Justin Baldoni took an L in this whole fight with Blake Lively. It's not massive the way you might think, but it's an L.
It is six figures that he is going to have to pay in attorney's fees for the New York Times. They had asked the court for about $180,000 in attorney's fees, and what the court ended up at was $172,000.
Now remember, this was about Justin, but this was when Blake Lively and her publicist went to the New York Times, worked with them on a story about Justin. They torched Justin. Justin said they took emails and texts out of context and sued the New York Times for defamation. New York Times said, A, we stand by the story, and B, we're protected by the First Amendment.
Right. And so the lawsuit goes away. He has to pay the attorney's fees. Now, that's not a big number, but what is a big number, which still hasn't been determined, is how much he's going to have to pay in attorney's fees to Blake Lively.
Which could be up to $8 million is what she's asking right now, yes.
There is no way
I think
this judge is going to. That would be outrageous if the judge did that.
I mean, she racked up a lot of hours in legal fees.
But her case was dismissed.
Yes, it was.
Well, her case, I guess, went on longer than the New York. I was going to say, there's such a disparity.
But it was dismissed.
Are her attorneys
yes, there was a lot more
that much more expensive than
there was a lot more going on in that case than the New York Times case.
Yeah, there was a lot more. I mean, there were depositions and all that stuff. But no way will she get anywhere near that.
Coming up.
So you remember the guy a few years ago who made the Fleetwood Mac song go viral again? The guy who was skateboarding?
Oh, yeah.
Dogface was his name.
The viral sensation himself.
TMZ After Dark.
Be right back.
So you remember the guy a few years ago who made the Fleetwood Mac song go viral again? The guy who was skateboarding?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now here you go again. Dogface was his name. Guess what?
Dogface, I bet, was part of our TMZ tour experience.
Yes, he was.
The viral
he
sensation
hosted
himself.
TMZ After Dark.
He was an amazing host.
Why is it dark?
What? It is
Because
dark.
it gets dark very late. It's summer, bro.
Also, he's also known as the viral. He's known as the Vibe King, and that's exactly what he did. He vibed. He came on the bus and he vibed, and he just knows how to put people in a good mood. Even during COVID, during that time when everybody was like so scared, his video made everyone so happy. And he made everyone so happy on the bus.
He's rapping now, right?
So this is the main like highlight of the night was he surprised everyone at our Saddle Ranch stop. Because he has a song with Snoop Dogg and Clipso called Lowrider. And so Clipso, he wasn't supposed to host, but he pulled up in a very nice car, like a Corvette or something, or a rocket ship, or like something like really expensive car.
This is a Corvette, not a rocket ship.
Okay, got it. And with like this like hot blonde lady that like owns all these like nice cars. And they perform Lowrider outside of the bus.
Oh, that's
and
really cool.
All of the Saddle Ranch is watching. And they just like put up a giant performance on Sunset. It was an epic night.
I like it.
Love Dogface. Shout out to DJ Blue. Best DJ ever.
Okay. Every weekend we put polls up on the website. We want to find out how you feel about stuff we put up on the website over the week. We did it this past weekend. Here are the results.
LeBron wins a championship with the Sixers. Yes or no?
No.
They're going to go no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he probably won't. Knicks at 5.
LeBron screwed Cleveland. Boy, there's at least one person in our office who believes that.
2.
Yeah, where's the loyalty? Nope.
It's a free country.
And it is. There you go.
Sorry, Lucas. After prison fight, Diddy should get a longer sentence or no punishment, it's self-defense.
They're going to say longer, for sure. Oh, yeah.
Well, all right.
No doubt about it. Next. Nolan Wells' death was most likely foul play or accidental. I'm interested in this.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with this. Probably foul play, they're going to say?
Huh.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. If you were David, would you take a plea deal? Yes or no?
I think it should be no, but they're going to say yes. Yeah.
You'd expect that as the preliminary hearing's going on, all they've heard is the prosecutor's side. So
he ain't going to take a plea. Tom Brady, in a WWE ring, it's below the GOAT or let's go. It's below. Yeah. Okay.
People are not digging that.
Last one. No,
that was
it.
the last one.
That's the last one.
That was it.
Okay. See ya.
Coming up.
Want more proof? Mitch McConnell says he is still in the rehab center, but doing well enough.
He didn't say
Take another
anything.
photo.
He didn't say
well,
anything.
That's the point of releasing yet another proof of life photo.
It may be Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell.
But you're not doing your job.
He's not functioning as a senator.
Be right back.
You want more proof? Mitch McConnell says he is still in the rehab center, but doing well enough.
He didn't say
Take another
anything.
photo.
He didn't say
well,
anything.
That's the point of releasing yet another proof of life photo. I don't think that this one, well, I don't know. I'm sure the internet thinks it's completely
It may be
fake.
Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell.
But you're not doing your job.
He's not functioning as a senator. And how many, it's like he has become the poster child for there should be an age limit. Because at some point, I mean, enough's enough. And, you know, his state is not being represented right now. No matter what, his state's not being represented. Senate is in session today, or they're there today, and where's he?
Right, in this rehab center. And I don't know why they think this photo was a better one.
Well, let's say it's real. Okay, so what?
He didn't even holding the newspaper in this one.
Let's say it's real. I mean, so what? He's not.
Well, you know that the point he's trying to say is
not functional as a senator.
This is also a plea for sympathy. Like, give him a break.
I think a lot of people are sympathetic. They're just saying
sympathetic as in don't rip away this man's job while he's. I think that's the point of putting this photo out at this point.
He is a United States
I agree
senator.
with you. I agree with you. I'm just.
What do you want, though? So what's the? Because it's not the first time it's happened. Dianne Feinstein. It happened with Kane, right? I mean,
and it shouldn't have.
No, I agree.
I mean, Dianne Feinstein was not there.
I agree.
Mentally.
No, I agree.
And
what do we do though? What do we do? I mean, do you kick him out of office?
Maybe we start looking at age limits, which I think is a mistake. But people have got to know when enough's enough. Tell me.
Agreed.
Hi, my name is Brandon Roan. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I completely agree with you guys. I don't think the picture's real. I don't think he's okay. I think it could be AI. Until they get a video or something, we shouldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they said last time. It was like, do a video, Mitch, if you really want people to believe, and that's not happening for some reason.
You know, I mentioned my own age, but you're the one that blacked out in this show. What else do you guys want to talk about?
Hi, my name's Joni from Salt Lake City. And with Dorit and PK, both of their hands are not clean here. PK's had a lot of financial issues in the past. And as a viewer of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we see Dorit spending a lot of money, $5,000 at one store alone. She spent her entire book advance on an Hermes Kelly bag.
Oh my God, is that true? Is that true?
Her friends were much more concerned.
That's funny. Okay, one more.
Hey, I'm Erica from Rancho Cucamonga, and as far as the Usher fan, this could be a good lesson for people that if you're going to this concert and you're going for Chris Brown, there's a 50-50 chance you might get Usher, so you might want to think wisely if you want to go on stage.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
just
is
don't
the
go
point.
at all.
Yes.
Yeah, just don't go at all.
Don't go in the VIP section.
Coming up.
Boy, Scooter Braun is living some major life adventures, courtesy of his girlfriend. They are down in New Zealand and decided to do a tandem bungee jump. It's not even it's like a bungee swing.
Be right back.
Boy, Scooter Braun is living some major life adventures, courtesy of his girlfriend.
I think she is the driving force here, because I didn't think this was Scooter before.
They are down in New Zealand and decided to do a tandem bungee jump. It's not even it's like a bungee swing, but she's sitting on his lap. They release it looks like a trapeze or something they're sitting on, and it goes swinging across this canyon. It is, wow.
So I have a question for you.
Would I do that?
I would never
date someone like Sydney Sweeney.
I wouldn't. What, would you?
No.
Okay, so I do have a question for you.
Absolutely not. I did do a bungee jump, but that's different.
I do have a question for you. Guys, roll that again. If Taylor Swift sees this, what does she think?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop. She would not think that.
We'll see you
She's
tomorrow.
not a monster.